Hello everybody, this is running a little late, but let's just ignore that fact altogether, because I feel like I say that too much these days. I think it's about time we did some review of an old game that has been somewhat forgotten about, because that's what I do around here, so that's what we're going to be doing. Yeah, this game is Flight Unlimited by Looking Glass Studios, who I do believe are now owned by Electronic Arts. So this is Flight Unlimited. I feel it's really worth pointing the box out for this. This is something that you just don't get anymore in a game. I mean, it's quite nice to have a nice box to put on your shelf. Say to everybody, look, I have this game. You do not. You suck. You fail at life because you do not own this game, because look at that box. Maybe it's worth taking a look at the back. Fly like you never have before. We've designed a flight simulator that brings you the thrill of flying. Experience time computational fluid dynamics, the most advanced flight simulation modelling technology available anywhere. No matter what your level of experience, we have provided a way for you to fly. Whether you want to soar lazily over some of the breathtaking photorealistic scenery you've ever seen on a PC, start an instructional course that will take you from the basics through complex or aerobatic manoeuvres, or race through challenging aerial obstacle courses. Flight Unlimited puts you in the pilot's seat. I can't be bothered to read the rest of it, but there we go, that sums it up. There's a load of stuff there about the game's technologies, and of course the system requirements live on the bottom of the box, which wasn't uncommon for the time. Requires a pretty heavy machine, I suppose, for 1995, although it's not too bad. So, yeah, let's take a look at the game properly. Wait just one moment. We can't play 90s flight simulation games with a mouse and keyboard. We will be using proper 90s flight simulation controls. My very poor 2-button joystick. Yeah, if you want a good experience, you really need something more like this. But unfortunately I've had real problems getting this thing to work. Maybe it's because of the Gravis ultrasound in the machine. Maybe it's biased towards a Gravis gamepad or something. But either way, you really do need a joystick for a flight simulator. Now we'll look at the game properly. Upon starting the game you will need a mouse, regardless of whatever you might think, because you don't actually need it, but the game does require one. It won't start without it, and it's one of those type of games where you have to leave the CD in, and if you know this computer you will know how awkward the CD drive can be, but I doubt anybody else will have that problem. There's a Windows 95 version, but this is the DOS version. They aren't really dissimilar though, so that is something that you can probably just ignore. Very interestingly, there is a 3D interface that allows you to select options panels, quit the game. Why you'd want to do that straight away, I don't know. It allows you to fiddle about with options, get flying lessons, do a hoop course, whatever you want to do, or just fly the plane. Speaking of the planes, there are 5 different aeroplanes that you can fly, which vary. They all handle differently. The physics engine is absolutely phenomenal for a game in 1995. So I'm not sure whether these are real licensed planes, because much as I do have a slight interest in aircraft, it's not really my field for these smaller aircraft, so I can't say whether they're proper licensed planes. But they all fly differently, they all have their own sound effects, and they're all pretty satisfying to crash into things. Even the glider. Yeah, there's a glider. I was never keen on the takeoff for that thing. Of course, before you fly, you get the option to start on a runway, in the air, or on the taxiway, and that's really up to you, and it probably depends which plane you want. The glider I do recommend starting in the air. There's smoke effects you can turn on, there are various view modes, some of which are quite interesting. This one that has multiple panes is a really interesting viewpoint. Seeing as it doesn't seem to lower the frame rate at all, and I guess that it would, so that's quite interesting. To me, anyway. There's, of course, the lessons, which I've never really played with. They seem to be pretty good. You could probably learn from these, but I already know how to play the game, so you'll have to find your own opinions on that one. And, of course, the hoop courses, which are exactly what it says on the tin. Fly through hoops, which will progress in difficulty against a ghost plane if you choose to do so, or just beat your own records, whichever you wish to do. You can use a globe to fly to various parts of the world, anywhere you wish that is given in the game. Every airport has its own little 3D interface and its own characteristics, so you should probably check them all out. It's not like there's money or anything in the game, so you don't have to worry about that. You can just go wherever and do what you want, so it's not really anything to worry about there. You can even use the Kirk machine if you want. It doesn't seem to change anything, but it's quite entertaining. And as we know, caffeinated drinks are healthy, as proven by Duke Nukem. There is even this arcade machine, which this is not present in the Windows 95 version, I do not think, but you will get a gelatinous cube to bounce about on a plate. Yeah, wibble wobble jelly on a plate. Anybody remember that little nursery rhyme? Because I sure as hell do. But I can't be the only person thinking Super Mario 128 about this. So that is really, yeah, it's basically the credits sequence, but it's an impressive credits sequence for all of about a minute before you get bored of it. It's worth checking out. The options panel allows you to adjust the realism, how strong your plane is, weather, whatever you want to change, really. There's quite a wide variety of, obviously, controls and audio. And this is the interesting thing, the video. It'll allow you to switch the resolution up to 1024 by 768, which, for a DOS game in 1995, I am really impressed by. So obviously this isn't a Microsoft Flight Simulator or anything like that, and there isn't a lot to say with it being a flight simulator. It is just what it says it is. It is a flight simulator. It allows you to fly an aircraft without the consequences of flying one for real and without the cost. And that's what it does, and it does it exceptionally well, especially for 1995. In some ways it outstrips Microsoft Flight Sim. In other ways, it doesn't compare, so there really are two very different flight simulators. I think it's worth checking both of them out if you're into flight simulators, because, I don't know, but I've always preferred this game for some strange reason, and I think it's a shame it's been forgotten about. It's maybe not like the best flight sim there ever was, but I don't know, it has something about it. As I said, it's there to simulate flying aircraft, and that is something that it does as flawlessly as you possibly could in 1995 with the limitations back then. So, yeah, to conclude, this game is good. If you can find it, it shouldn't cost a lot, because it's not very popular, it's not really seen as collectible. But I would recommend getting the Windows 95 version, because if you have just one piece of new hardware in your machine, it's likely you're going to get all kinds of error messages opposed to the game actually running. So that may just be something to bear in mind. I hope you've enjoyed this game and this review and anything else that you could possibly enjoy from my video. I don't know what that would be, but if you found something else to enjoy, then I hope you did. And we should be back on schedule. I've got formats working. I'm using Windows Media Video, so yeah, we're back on the game. It's good. Check it out. Actually, I do believe there are a couple of things I should point out. I want to clarify, when I said recommend the Windows 95 version, that's like in general. Series collectors, DOS version's good. Only if you have an old DOS machine to run it. I would recommend something. Well, what I've run it on here is a Pentium S 200MHz. It's got 65 megabytes of EDO RAM. I don't know how the game will react with SD RAM, and I've not got it running on Pentium 2. It may be possible, but it won't work on my Pentium 2 systems for whatever reason. They do both have pretty recent video cards in. S3 graphics card, an old one, even PCI, it should work. So that's just something to keep in mind if you do get the DOS version. Don't expect to run it at full resolution all the time, but if you can at all, it looks absolutely phenomenal. So I recommend at least trying to do that, because that is quite rewarding. Then, of course, you may notice I ran my intro today. I've tried some new techniques on this review, so hopefully that'll turn out good. And you may notice in my intro, if you'd never noticed before, there are clips of cartoon shows in there. And next time, maybe we won't be reviewing a game. Maybe we'll be reviewing one of those, because I said I would do a long time ago. It's probably about a year ago now. And I feel it's time maybe I did that, just to change things up a little. The Let's Play channel should be coming back, hopefully tonight, but I want to throw something together for the start of the Let's Play. Like, it's Duke Nukem Mission Moonbase, because that's what I've got the most requests for. I think I only got one or two, but anyway, that doesn't matter. I don't have a great deal of people subscribed to that channel yet. Maybe I never will, but it's a bit of fun, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully I shall get round to that at about the same time as I upload this, but I'll have something tacked on the beginning explaining, you know, some of the problems I've had, because I feel I've, you know, bunged this channel up a bit just lately. I don't want to keep going on here. So, you know, well, obviously I want to keep making videos on here, but not making complaining videos. So I feel just a few seconds on the beginning of one on there is probably better fitting. But I'm wittering on, so hopefully I'll see you in another week, because we now can upload without problems. The files are a little bigger, and it takes a little longer, but it seems to work for now, so there we go. I'm High Treason. Hope you've enjoyed my video. Hope you enjoy future videos and videos I've already made. If not, then that's your opinions. You're entitled to them, just as I'm entitled to mine. So, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again in another week with another video.